to Positively Entertaining Conversations, episode 19. What do you know about surrendering? Oh, okay, so I'm your host, Guru Brando, and this is
Lady Beth.
Lady Beth.
Elizabeth. How about that? Is that better? Lady Elizabeth. Fine.
Lady Elizabeth Autumn McReynolds Groves, right?
Yeah.
I paid for the name, you might as well use it.
You can use it for me.
Huh?
You have to announce.
I just did.
You have to
literally,
announce it
literally.
whenever
I
I
just
walk into
did.
the room.
Do I need a little bugle too, a little trumpet?
Yes.
Make a little kazoo, kazoo action. Oh, kazoo's not like this unless you have a high-speed kazoo like Oliver.
Perhaps.
He has an instrument for everything. Literally, he can drive me crazy on a notice, like short notice, just instantly. Bring something in on the scene and make me go nuts. I have a couple things I want to talk about.
Okay.
A few things. One of those things is your darling daughter.
Yes.
So, your darling daughter is on a impromptu vacation.
Kind of.
Is that what you would say? She got invited to a thing, so she's doing a thing with some other people.
To go see Brandy Carlisle in Kansas City, Missouri.
Missouri. It's Missouri. Isn't that how you say it when you go see shows there? Like Branson, Missouri?
I would say maybe Missouri.
Oh, ouch. That's offensive. There's people that we love in Missouri.
Yes, there is.
And in...
I just don't like driving in Missouri.
And in Arkansas. Oh, crap. I didn't even turn off this jigger there. So there could be some crap happening with that. I am right now making sure that everything is a go. Look, there we are. Do you see us?
Yes.
We're watching us right now, watching us. We're watching us. And guys, I hope y'all liked my picture because I worked very hard on making it just enough glittery for the show. Because I was worried. I was like, I'm this superhero. Y'all see my shirt here. I posted earlier. And I was told I look like I should be a superhero. And so, I decided to go with the glitter instead of a mask. Joe had commented earlier about a mask. I said my beard is my mask.
Oh, Lord.
Well, that got me thinking about the whole conversation of our different journeys.
Yeah. Different journeys for sure.
Lori's on. I hope.
Oh, but it's still spinning.
Because it's Facebook and it's stuff. I don't question technology. I just surrender. That's what this whole podcast is about.
Man.
Surrender. So if the universe wants this message out there, this message will be received by exactly who needs to hear it. And one of those people is Miss Carol, who is laid up at the moment, but in the other room, and better be watching. Watching. Jeez. I'm telling you, it's been a day. So I've had a couple of stressful days, so which is, good that we're having this podcast. A couple of things, though. One, we saw our best good friend today, Miss Mandy, and we also saw our other, God, just give me a second.
Talkie today. Christy.
Cottonmouth. Yes, Christy. So Christy came to visit. So we all had a nice talk. And while we were talking outdoors, my other BFF, my boy BFF, drove by. And, oh, ouch, Beth, that sunburn looks like it hurt. Oh, yeah, right there.
Oh,
right
actually,
there.
it's tan.
It is. She sucks.
There's no
drives me
sunburn
crazy
happening here.
Yeah, it's just the lighting super sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really pasty, too, but you can't really tell. So I'm having to watch the comments over here on this screen and just be live here. It's very strange what's going on with Facebook tonight. So the universe is at work right now, and we just have to surrender to it. And that's kind of what I was thinking about talking about. I try to do some sort of inspirational something, some type of spiritual coaching, uplifting, whatever, on Wednesday. But here lately, it's been tough. It's been a whole lot of just positive entertaining conversations, but not so much content. Wow. This is why. See, I need to just. You talk.
You know, every time you do that, I have nothing to talk about.
I can sing it all.
See.
I was singing earlier. Susan, you would have loved it. I was singing, Oh, How She Sparkles and Oh, How She Shines. And my sister would go crazy hearing me even. She'd thump me, because that's what she used to do, thump me and thump me hard. Well, that was leading to adding sparkle to the shine. I was talking about that earlier. I was adding a little sparkle to my shine. And with the glitter and the weed. But nonetheless, sparkle to the shine means what to you?
Like
polishing a turd?
Yeah, I guess. No. Making something even shinier.
Okay, so to me, it's sort of adding the personality to the character. So you already have this character that you are instinctively, right? You don't actually build it, just who you are, right? And then you add the person, the persona to it. And so the sparkle and the shine are two different things. The instinctual shine, kind of like if you think about The Shining, you know, an instinctual shine. Funny that I referenced The Shining, right? Me with my Jack Nicholson. Anyway. And then you polish up that shine. So you enhance your natural talent with skill. So you learn a skill to be able to showcase your talent.
Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have skill and you have talent. What are you skilled in? Michelle's on. Oh, Benji. Benji's on.
Writing.
And he's going to hate that I call him that, huh?
I have to say I'm skilled at writing. Because
Okay.
I just got a degree in it, so might as well say it.
So, but what are you talented in? Writing? So you're skilled and talented?
I would say that when it comes to creative writing, I do pretty well.
So your talent is actually creativity, right? You're naturally creative. You've had to be. So you're naturally creative, and you learned how to write within that creativity. And it's pretty cool. Reading your crap's cool. Living with you is even better. Just saying, because you're nice to look at, too.
Well, I appreciate that.
So,
it's easier for me, for some reason, to draw a picture with words than it is with colors.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was just saying today that anybody who's creative or teaches is that way because they've had that internal struggle. The more challenging, the more creative, right? Stalk Benji's page. Oh, but don't give yourself away. Huh. Oh, yes! It's funny that Benjamin... okay, so... like I said, I'm having to read over here and focus here. It's very strange. So bear with me, okay? I'm naturally weird, but this is outstandingly weird. Skilled talent. Outstandingly weird. So my natural talent is to be weird, but I'm super skilled at it. So, right? Okay. Sounds like a drinking thing. Shine is strong stuff. The adding sparkle to the shine.
All right.
Yeah, weed stuff, drinking stuff, whatever stuff. But it really does mean just adding skill to your talent. Which brings me to the surrender point. So these friends that you're zoned out.
No, I was looking at the
Hi.
screen over there.
What screen? Are you looking at my hands on the other screen? Like side of hands? We were talking with our best good friend, Christy, the mutual with Mandy, and her spouse are meeting for the first time her husband's child, adult child, who he never got a chance to meet. And so it's pretty cool, but we were talking, and they have very different values, like from one house to the other. So the house that the adult child is in has kind of rigid structure and values that don't necessarily make sense to Frank and Christy.
Right.
But it all works out in the end because the child is an adult. And so they get to make up their own mind. And lucky for them, everybody's totally embracing each other, and it's pretty fantastic. And that in itself is surrender. Frank couldn't control any of the situation of whether he met this child or saw this child. And so, you end up still being in that person's life, right? So, like, lucky for Frank, he's not dead. I could kill him a half a dozen times, but we didn't get to see him, so I'm sort of sore at him. But it's fantastic that he has this opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of like Dad and I weren't really close growing up.
Yeah.
But now we have a chance to be close. If I had tried and forced myself to be close to him, it wouldn't have worked. Right? I had to just surrender to the fact that we weren't going to be close at that time.
Just let things happen
naturally. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know where I got that concept. I don't know when I got it. As long as I know, I have, that notion, not necessarily those habits, but the notion of surrender, I guess, is taught really through religion. And I grew up in a religious household, so, it stands to reason that I heard that term a few times, but never truly understood what it meant until now. And what it really means is trust that things are going to work.
Yeah.
Right? Just give that shit away and say, if I can't control it, why am I trying?
Yeah.
If it's not my battle, is it relevant to me? If it's not necessarily mine, does it have value in a cause that I'll fight for? If it is, invest yourself. But that's investment, so you get a return on that. That's karma. But when you surrender, it simply means acknowledging that you're not in charge, that there's something greater. Do you believe in something greater? Oh, Carol's on.
Not like
the greater good. You don't believe in the greater good?
I believe in the greater good.
What is the greater good to you then?
Oh, that's more of a social issue.
Okay.
Helping society along the way.
So you don't feel like that's what religion is, for the greater good? Because religion's man's law, which is ego, which is the community, which is the government, which is the good. Right? And that's where religion falls, is within the confines of the community and of the good. So do you believe in something greater than man, greater than the good?
Yeah.
What is it?
More, I guess, on the energy level of things,
Did you always believe that way?
No, I grew up in theology. So it was...
Different ones.
Yeah, several different ones. And it was really difficult, to come to terms with, the doctrine that I was following, and when, things stopped making sense, when I started to really read it, and understand that, okay, there's I'm not even going to go into it because I think I may.
Are you too jaded?
No, I'm not jaded. I don't want to be offensive to anybody.
Okay, well that's a good plan. Always stop yourself before you're offensive.
Yeah, in effect.
Or be like Rory and preface it first.
I made some discoveries and I lost my faith.
Okay, well that's not necessarily a bad thing to talk about. People lose their faith all the time. It's one thing to lose your faith in man, and it's another thing to lose your faith in humanity, and another thing to lose your faith in a spirit, right? So if you actually lose your faith and you have no spiritual path, it's hard for you to find purpose in your own life, right? It's hard for you to focus outside your immediate truth. And the good thing about focusing outside the immediate truth is you become what you believe you are. So if you believe you are a good person, you actually become a good person because you make great strides to be who you say you are.
Right.
So even if you feel purposeless, you try to prove yourself right in being purposeless, and you become lazy. So at least you become something.
Well, it's kind
You
of
always become something.
the self-fulfilling prophecy.
It is, and that's what you have to work with. So you say, if I understand my truth to be this God that's greater than me, that's okay. That's faith in something outside yourself. You will achieve. It can be that you believe in the flying spaghetti monster. It can believe that or it can mean that you believe in the house of the dude. Whatever it is, if you have faith outside yourself, you will make a goal and become something. Not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
So how do you judge that? How do you surrender and know when to control? Because it would be very easy for me to just smoke pot all day and not give a shit and just let other people make decisions, right? But I don't do that because I don't want to.
Well,
That's not...
You have a moral compass.
And that's what you have to look at. So you have to look at where is your direction going. But how do you determine your own morals? Because it's to each their own, to be accepting.
Yeah.
So I can't dictate for others what is their own morality.
I only imagine that when it comes down to a natural, organic decision-making process, like if there was nothing outside of nature, to be stimuli to affect decisions, then I think people would just naturally gravitate towards a more positive decision-making process.
But that wouldn't make sense either, because you have to have a balance. There has to be an equal negative part to the positive. So it means you have to have ups and downs both, or there's no distinguishing factor.
It's only whenever other factors come into the picture, like survival or greed.
Okay, so your daughter was invited very quickly to go to this concert.
Yeah.
Okay, and she had been a little bit of a scamp with me earlier. She was kind of disrespectful, and we were in a battle of wills for a hot minute. It would have been very easy for me to say, you know what, you suck, you can't do anything. Why did I not do that? Is there a real lesson in that?
I don't know.
Because sometimes surrender is picking your battles.
Yeah, I see picking your battles,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I mean, she's
17,
yeah, and
about to be 18 next
Yeah.
month.
I mean, you're not grown yet.
But you pick your battles because they're smart enough, and I have the thought that she understands and learned her lesson.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, she's very, very smart.
So I chewed her out. She understood. She learned her lesson. I don't feel the need to control the situation anymore. I'm going to let the universe have it and let karma take over. If she learned her lesson, the process will not be repeated. If she did not learn her lesson, here we'll go again. So once, shame on you. Twice, shame on me. So the third time, it's a pattern.
Yeah.
And that's when there's an intervention, right? I know it won't reach that point because she's just like every other 17-year-old. And yes, I mean some of my clients. Mm-hmm. And you know what? One of my clients is celebrating self-harm free for, 4 months and 20 days and 1 hour and something. I remember because it's 420, of course. But
cool.
It's amazing. It's not just pretty cool. It's amazing. And because she trusts people, right? So because she trusts people, namely me, she can understand how to trust herself. That's what surrender is. So first you have to have faith in something greater than yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. Just there's someone there to help. And in that instant, it could be me, right? So if you trust me enough to hear what I have to say, to prove to you that you don't suck as much as you think you do, then you really fight for that. You fight to prove your new belief right. And surrendering really means finding your own value and working with that. And my early talent was church. And I say church and I say talent because church was the fellowship and the values, my moral compass, okay? Methodist, non-denominational, and really nature, because my dad was a farmer, so we relied heavy on Farmer's Almanac, the seasons, the weather patterns, all of the natural stuff. So we relied on that. We grew our own food. I was part of that process, so I knew that aspect. I knew at some point the hell was going to come and you had to surrender to it. And all you could do was have faith in something greater than yourself. Usually the insurance company you would have faith in, right? Have faith that that bill was paid. But in the instant that it wasn't, what do when your life all of a sudden shifts gears and the bottom falls out? And you lose your whole crop. What the hell do? You
collapse into a pile of potatoes and that's where you stay.
It's true. Some people do. So Michelle just said, I'm so bad at letting things go. I pick and choose my battles, but then I tend to rewind. That's tough to not revisit all those mistakes and then talk shit on yourself. And I was just talking about earlier, I have my clients bark at themselves like a dog, when they're talking shit to themselves, especially because that proves you're not surrendering. If you're talking poorly to yourself, you're talking poorly to others. And that means that there's regret or resentment or expectations that aren't met. And they're your own expectations, And when you finally realize that you set your own expectations for your own care, your own standard of care, then things become easier, don't they?
Yeah.
Because you said, I can't deal with religion. And you stepped away from it because you lost your faith. But you found faith in something else, the military.
Yeah, for a while.
And that's not
for a while.
That's not anything to be ashamed of. You duck your head, your body language says shame. And there's no shame in being a patriot, and there's no shame in truly believing in that cause. And we don't have to go into it, but 4th of July just passed. Yeah. And it's here because of people like you, right? So we celebrate this because of people like you. Do you not ever think about that when the 4th of July rolls around? You don't ever think about the patriots before you?
I think about more about Independence Day, in the colonial period.
Okay.
And so what they probably, were dealing with.
Well, what were they dealing with and having to endure?
Field combat against the English, But luckily, our guys knew guerrilla tactics, and they weren't,
Okay, we won't go that far into
the automatons that march onto the battlefield.
Right, but you get what I'm saying, though. So you understand there were patriots before you, right? And you are one before many. So there's many more patriots now. So there's no shame involved in, I learned a different way, a different set of values. My core values were from the farm, and from that wholesome, community with all these, I would say, low-key religious values. We weren't within, like, some of the snake handlers and things like that. Well, those people exist too. I'm not going to laugh at that. I mean, I don't understand it, but it's not any less real.
Oh, it's absolutely real.
Yeah, so, they have
the
faith.
Hell out of me just thinking about.
But they have faith in something like I have faith in something, And my faith really does lie within the natural realm, the universe. I look to the stars for the answers and not Hollywood, So I look at the universal energy and everything that's around us. I hope it serves me well. I feel like it has so far. I know that letting go of things, like Michelle said, is super crappy when you are in it and you recognize that you've revisited it. Yeah. And so you're in mid heat and you're like, I should not have said this, or I should not have done this, or why couldn't I have just, went this way? Like Alex, revisiting the accident that she had. I should have done this, I should have done that. She did everything instinctually right because she learned it properly the first time.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have to forget how to do the wrong thing and remember how to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And that's how you felt religion was for you, that you had to deprogram. And
that was difficult.
But you looked for a good set of core values, and you found it within the military. You remember the Army core values?
Loyalty or leadership. It's leadership.
Okay.
And,
you don't. It's okay.
I know them if I sit there and go,
you don't need to. Hey, you don't need to. It's not necessary. It's not. Okay. That makes me think of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
F-U-N.
I still have my dog tags that have my thing on them.
I don't know what thing you're talking about.
We used to have to carry, when we carried our dog tags, we also had a tag on it that was the Army core values.
Oh, yeah. I thought you gave that to one of the knuckleheads.
I don't know.
Probably.
I thought I saw it in
Okay, I need to look at these things. So, Michelle, how do you choose your battle? I mean, what is that moral compass for you? You say that, it's hard for you to not rewind. We all do that. We do that to judge, to see how far off the mark we are. So as long as you're okay with your own options and you know what your values are, you just have to compete with yourself the day before. So look at yourself yesterday and go, how'd I do? That's how I did. Did I do better today? Yes, because I learned the lesson. I surrendered the thought that I was in control, and I allowed the universe to take over, right? And it really is that simple as trusting yourself. So what brought this whole shebang up, and I'm going to talk about her now. Oh, wait. So true, you show me a way because I lost my way and things are awesome now. Oh my gosh, Lori, I love you to pieces. You can't spell, but I love you to pieces, girl. Lori, my client, and she had some her time, so I didn't get to see her in session.
Yeah.
But she's gonna be here next week. Anyway, what was I talking about? I already forgot. Dang it! Somebody tell me.
You just finished talking about you had asked Michelle something.
How? Okay, so the moral compass.
Yeah.
So what guides your moral compass? Right, and it can be the way that you're raised. It can be, anything. But we have differences among just our friend group, right? So today we saw Mandy, and she was filling us in on her situation. She's split. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it, but she's split in a decision. And one way she would need to follow her ego, and one way she would need to follow her spirit.
Yeah.
Well, the ego says, I want more time, I want more money with less effort, because effort is that spirit. So the ego wants, something for her family, and her spirit wants something for her sanity, and I'm always in the side of spirit. So I say, always take the risk. If the opportunity arises, there's a reason it's there. So you have to make a choice right then. And you say, do I surrender to my humanity and say, no, I'm going to go ego? Or do you surrender to your talent, your inborn instinct that says, I'm going to do what's right for my sanity?
Right. Gosh.
That's picking your battle, just like I was saying. Well,
if it comes down to a situation where...
Oh, Adam's on now. Hi, Adam.
Okay. Where you're choosing, it's a professional decision, versus something you might, want to do on the side or for fun, or hobby.
Okay, so I look at it as if somebody offers me money for something that I love, and it means that I have to get more skill, I'll accept the money so I can skill myself, right? So I can add sparkle to my shine. So, but first I'm going to look at my shine. And if my shine is not there because it's clouded with my ego, then I'm probably going to need to add more sparkle. Right? So it means if you're going to have me work outside of my skill set, I'm going to need a moment.
Yeah, and when it comes to professional setting, it's, they say that, if you, what is it? If you enjoy your job, or if you do what you want, you never work a day in your life, or whatever.
Oh yeah, something like that. I don't know, because I don't accept that falsehood. I think that you work because work is effort, and that feels good, and that's where the reward is. So if you say you never work a day in your life, to me it means there's no real reward, because work is something you are privileged to do.
Yeah, I think it's more of a thing about toil and,
Okay,
and
I
struggle.
don't know. I gotta be honest though, I've been very humbled lately with this whole knee issue, right? And realizing that I probably am gonna need to get something more done to it, because I've abused it, so my knee really hurts. I need to do this stuff. But then my ego takes over and goes, hey, listen, dummy, you need to work. So you need to just do what you gotta do, get a shot, go on about your way. And that's what I've been doing, kicking the can down the road. Well, guess what? I ended up in the same spot I would end up in, but a lot later and more pain. So surrender is also about that. You're going to end up in the same spot anyway, so which route are you going to go? The slowest, hardest possible route where you feel like you're in control? Where you believe that you're in control? Or are you going to surrender and let the universe just take you there? Like drifting down the river, right? If you surrender, you're going to get there. And you'll get there faster with a whole lot less struggle. But, it's still going to be a good ride. You're still going to get there. You're still going to have the journey. But it doesn't have to be in your time. It just doesn't. It's frustrating to me when people get so worked up about trivial things. Say, for instance, grass and dirt. To get really worked up about one's yard. Say, for instance, if your dog pooped in my yard. I would be like, hey, could you pick that up? My kid might step in it, or it could have worms, whatever. It's just not good practice. Be a good neighbor, pick it up. I wouldn't sue you because you didn't pick up your dog's poop. If it stayed there longer than I wanted it to stay there, I would go pick it up. It's my yard, right? Okay, now, I would be annoyed with the person that allowed the dog to poo there. I would be annoyed, and I would try to resolve the issue.
Yeah,
right?
especially if it was like a repeat offender.
Yeah, you try to resolve the issue, but it's just grass and dirt. That is not a real situation for me, by the way. That did not happen. But anything like that, getting annoyed because, let's say, for instance, if we had a water leak in our yard. If we had a water leak in our yard, like the fire hydrant exploded or something and devastated our yard. How mad could I be? I wouldn't. Getting mad doesn't undo it.
No, I mean, you can get plenty mad about it if you want.
Yeah,
but
but
what's it gonna
why?
fix?
Why? Because all that effort that you put into being angry about a situation that could have happened anyway. It was going to be faulty anyway. Nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
So, if it was going to happen, maybe it happened at a better time because it happened then. You don't know what the universe has planned.
No.
You don't know. But either way, you needed to learn to surrender that damn yard. Right? Because that's why the universe did it. It's like, really? You possessing this shit too much, yo. You knock it down. We've been given examples so many times of how we need to slow our roll.
Yeah, especially me, and when I'm going from place to place.
Don't vape.
It's almost comical. It's either I'll catch a red light. Especially this is if I'm in a hurry for no reason. I'll start catching red lights, and then people will pull in front of me and then slow down. And then
That
might
is
drive
the universe
slower,
going.
Stop,
Temperance.
and then that's usually when I take a moment and be
See,
like,
do you like that? I woke up everybody that was napping, listening to.
I guess it's time to just slow down a little bit.
We do that a lot, though. And I have another client, they're on vacation and they're sending me these fantastic pictures. And it's like they're taking a moment to stop and take the picture, but have the experience also. Not take pictures the whole time, take a picture and relax in the experience. And I'm getting to enjoy the journey with them. And it's very symbolic for really coaching people. I get to enjoy their journey. It's really cool. It's um, like being included in something very private. Like, truly Sacred Groves is family, So it's like I tell them, planting that one seed and you grow your own grove. You have your own family, your own group. And it's pretty cool, especially when I see all the successes. But it's even better when I get the feedback that's not a success, because that ensures I have a job.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but that's part of what that appreciation is I appreciate that I have a job, because it means I'm normal. Like, by all accounts and standards, society says I'm normal, because you're screwed up too.
Yeah.
Everyone I know is screwed up. That's why I know them.
But
So, holy crap, that means humanity might, at its core, be a little screwed up, right? So I hope I always have a job, because it means I'm normal.
Well, think of it like Ridiculousness, TV show that we watch. As long as people are recording stuff, that show will never go out of business.
Right.
And as
So,
long as people need help, there's always going to be somebody.
but
there
as
to
long
help
as
them.
people are living, as long as people are living, I get to be involved with them, because they get to choose. And who wouldn't choose this? Look, new improved trans man. Try one today. That's gonna be my new commercial right there. That I just plugged myself. Do you have a cough due to cold? No.
Have
That's
a cough due to lung disease.
Yeah, that's something that you're surrendering to right now, and it really is. It's humbling. You have COPD, and it's Iraqi lung, is what they call it. It's from all of the crap burning over there. Plus, you were a smoker for a hot minute.
Yeah, 11 years.
Yeah, and your dad smoked, so you grew up with that, and see, that increases the chances. And not just because you see him doing it by example, but because secondhand smoke, etc., etc. So you had a whole lot of risk factors. So here you sat in your bed of lies, and it sucks. But what do you do for it?
I have to take a rescue inhaler periodically, just kind of whenever my lungs decide they want to lock up.
You surrender. That's what you're supposed to say. I surrender.
Yeah, I surrendered. That's why I went and talked to the doctor about it, and I got put on medication for it.
So you stopped rejecting the idea that you weren't sick, and now it's being treated. That's where, because I'm holistic, so I'm all about smoking the weed, but that's where medicine and holism crosses over, because you have to be smart enough to surrender, right, and know when you can't handle something, and believe in something greater than yourself. Well, if I have a broken bone, I don't know how to set it. I'm probably not going to put a whole lot of stock in me fixing my broken leg. I'm going to be calling 911, and then I will go and I will get it fixed, right?
Yeah.
I'm depending on somebody smarter than me. Don't vape. So if if I'm depending on someone smarter than me, I also have to acknowledge that I could be that smart. So then you take something and go, ooh, is that inspiring? Should I learn how to do that? Hell no. I don't want to learn to do that. I'm very comfortable with where I am, not knowing how to set a broken bone. You? But you know CPR.
Yeah.
And you're fine with mouth all over people.
I can put somebody's shoulder back in.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We don't know what we're capable of until we're tested. That's the universe, and that's what surrender is. So when you're being tested, do you surrender to the lesson and learn it? Or do you throw your hands up and go, I don't want to learn this shit right now. I'm just going to kick the can down the road.
Well, it just depends on how many times you want to learn the lesson. Me, I've learned a few lessons several times. You know, so it's just life. And then finally you figure it out and you go, oh, I get it now. And then you move on.
Is it life in the fast lane?
It's life in whatever
Really
lane.
makes you lose your mind? Okay, so just one more thing. I love you.
I love you too.
And thank everybody for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
I have so many grand ideas and so many great plans. And Aunt Donna, has done them all. And I know...
That's a creative one right there.
I know. And the holiday season's coming up. And I'm going to be looking at Aunt Sarah's stuff over Thanksgiving and all that, and Aunt Donna's stuff, and be going, we need to bump up our game. I will be surrendering to their craftiness. I will. I know. I can feel it coming. So I'm warning you ahead of time. I saw Donna's steampunk head today, and I'm like, holy crap. If I got the money, honey, you got the time? See, you know I've got to fit some crazy crap in. Life in the key of surrender. Oh, I like that. Benjamin, I want you to send me some videos of you playing, or I want you to get on here on live with me. We haven't ever met. And I don't want to talk about how we know each other because I've smoked a lot of pot since then. And we know each other socially on Facebook only. That's hence we haven't ever met. Glitter bomb. No, Adam. No glitter bombs and no dog poo on porches. We don't do that sort of thing.
That would just make it worse.
Totally worse. Okay,
It'd be
we
better
covered
if they
down
just
on most people.
Don't look at us and we don't look at them.
We covered down on most people except for Oliver and Lucas. And wow. Do you have any... Oh, you have an Oliver joke. So tell the Oliver joke. Did you already forget it?
I kind of remember it, but you have to demonstrate it.
Okay, I will demonstrate it.
Okay. Did you know that 10 plus 10 and 11 plus 11 both equal 20? So, what's 10 plus 10?
10 plus 10 is 20.
What's 11 plus 11?
11 plus 11 is 22. Oh, 20 and 22. Or also. Wow. That is a witty 10-year-old.
I'm taking the dogs out and he stops me in the utility room and he's like, hey, I want to say this joke real quick.
Oh, so like, maybe he got it from one of the neighbors.
I don't know. I can't remember. He told me where he got it, but I can't remember where he
That's a really good dad joke, though. I approve.
As told by a 10-year-old.
As told by a 10-year-old. Do you feel like you're an inspiration today?
I don't know.
I ask y'all these impossible questions.
Maybe, I guess.
Do you
I
light
don't
the
know.
poo on fire first? No. What?
I don't know if I'm an inspiration to anybody.
Wow, that is the wrong answer.
I could say that, being a trans person and trying to live, my day like any other day of the week and like any other person, going to, say, Donald Lay's and having lunch and not thinking another thing about anything else is, if there are people that struggle to,
you see,
to just exist in a public space.
You see,
I don't know.
I just gotta say, you should know the answer to this by now.
I never think of myself as inspiring.
We've been married almost 20 years. Right? No, we've been married, right? 20 years this year? Yeah. Holy shit, I hope that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to be married 20 years this year, and we sort of had a courtship before we got married, right? Mm-hmm. So, and people have already seen that I got coined my 20-year coin, right? Drug-free, hard street drugs. So, Joe gave me that. So, if I've been clean as long as I've known you, I'll ask you again. Do do you feel like you inspire anyone, and have you inspired anyone today? Are you an inspiration to anyone today?
Yeah.
Because no matter how I was going to get here, right? I was going to get here, and I might not have gotten here so easy if it wasn't for you, because you initiated that inspiration. I believed in you greater than myself. Just like now, people like my clients believe in me greater than their selves. And so they can surrender to that notion that someone is going to help them. And I surrendered to you 20 years ago, knowing that you were going to help me. And every single day, I'm still inspired by that fact that you choose to help me. Every day. We have 4 kids together, and we have our partner, Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day, I'm inspired to be a better person because I value your values. My moral compass points to you.
And I feel the same way about you whenever especially when I'm having difficult times, and I got to think about, okay, what did we say in coaching?
So then the right answer is always, I've inspired myself enough to inspire others. Always, right? If you're inspired to live each day genuine, you're inspiring someone. That's a factoid.
Okay.
So, and feelings aren't facts, and I have proof to back it up if you're ever interested in the story, right? You know this story, but if anyone else says, she's an inspiration to me, Jill says that.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, just returning it to the owner. I'm not vindictive. Oh, okay, Adam. But yeah, it feels good to realize that you have a family. You're allowed to have a family. You're not stuck with one.
Yeah.
We're chosen family, right? We're not brother and sister, right?
Right.
So we're chosen family. We chose to create one outside of our known values. So we chose to surrender and risk it. We rolled the dice and look at what we got.
Yep.
They are
all of this.
They are a motley crew. Yes, they are a motley crew. And that makes me think of solutions. I offered Mandy and Christy a solution today because they are way cooler than you and I. They went to Motley Crue concert, and Mandy got merch, and her friend Christy did not. And the merch was a little chain thing
with a D-ring,
and it said Motley Crue on it. And I was like, just cut it in the middle, and one be Motley and one be Crue, and there you go. Right? It's like the best friend necklace, which Joe and I still don't have. I've been missing him a lot, and Mandy's really jealous. But he's not feeling well. He hasn't been feeling well, and so I was worried about him. So everybody send Joe healing vibes. And he'll be back. Somebody asked me, actually Carol asked me, if he was ever coming back. And yes, of course he is. We're best friends. But he got a shed, and it's a red shed. And don't you know I'm going to run with that red shed joke for a long time. So
Okay.
prepare.
All right.
Okay. So it's going to happen. Lots of shed talk.
Shed talk.
Like Beavis
Between
and
you and
Butthead.
Joe.
Shed talk.
Between you and Joe.
All of us. I'm going to make sure everyone rolled a natural 20. Man, okay, Benjamin, for real though. We gotta meet up like this, and if we have already done that and I forgot, my bad. I hope I don't inspire too many people to live my dream. Do you know what my dream is?
You have several right now. Being the best life coach you can is your dream.
Oh wow, that is not my dream, but yes.
You went
yes,
to school and you struggled and you made it through it.
I did struggle for a little bit, but it's really never a question in my mind now. I actually forget it's my job. And that's not a bad thing, I don't think. I forget it's my job. I spend all my time in here. And I love my peeps. Aw, Carol loves Joe. Not more than me. Not more than me. No one loves Joe more than me, right? That's why they all are on his page and not mine. I'm joking. I'm just joking, I swear.
And see.
Yeah, right? I really wish I could get paid to do that. I'm concluding now again. I love you.
I'm going now. I'm going now.
The funny thing is I have no controls over here, so I can't actually turn it off.
Well, how do you make it work?
I don't know.
I mean,
don't know.
Because
there's nothing. I just have to turn it off. I don't know.
When you started it, that thing just kept spinning, and the whole.
So we're just gonna shoot for the look. I'm just gonna hit refresh and see what happens. So it's time to go anyway. Thank you everybody for listening, and I hope that we were somewhat entertaining, but a little bit uplifting. I like to think I uplift people. Stuck. Oh my Lord, stuck.